Hello friends. So I am a professional accountant and we will be starting with a particular topic which is called cost of capital. This is financial management of CA inter syllabus. The entire topic will be taught by me and it would be in English language. You can buy this particular chapter at a very nominal cost and the details are given below and at the description link. So let's start with this particular topic which is called cost of capital. So we are having a business and we want to expand our business, or we want to start a new business, or we want to replace our old machinery with new machinery. So what, friends, I mean to say is that I'm having a business, that I want to expand my business, or I want to start a new business, or I want to replace my old machinery with the new machinery. For all these things I require capital. So for all these things I require capital. Now this capital I'm going to raise. This capital I'm going to raise from the market. So there are different ways through which I can raise the capital. So one thing is that I can issue shares. Other thing is that I can issue debentures. The third thing is that I can issue bonds, and the fourth thing is that I can take a bank loan. So friends, there are different sources through which I will raise the capital. Now whenever I raise the capital from the market, I need to pay something in return for that capital. The something in return which I pay to get that capital is called the cost of that capital. So I am going to issue equity shares, then I am going to issue preference shares. So if I issue equity shares, then I have to give the equity shareholders equity dividend. If I issue preference shares, then I have to pay the preference shareholders the preference dividend. If I'm issuing bonds, debentures, bonds, for these I need to pay them interest. And if I take a bank loan also, then also I need to pay interest. So all these things, there is certain amount of cost involved in all these things. So in this chapter what you all are going to study is the cost part component will be kept in the numerator and the capital will be kept in the denominator. So on the numerator part portion you will be putting cost, and in the denominator part you will be putting the capital. Now I will be teaching you this particular topic, and this particular topic will be broadly divided into different concepts. I've also put a link of the questions so that before buying it you go through the questions, and if you like the teaching and if you like the content, then you can buy these lectures. So now I'm moving to the another concept. Now I will be teaching you all the cost of raising the equity capital. So cost of equity capital, what we are going to study right now. So what right now we are going to study is the cost of equity capital. Now this cost can be calculated by four different methods. The first method is called the dividend yield method. The next method is called the dividend growth model or the method. The third one is called the price earning approach, and the fourth is called CAPM model, which is called capital asset pricing model. So capital asset pricing model. So all the four methods we are going to discuss it right now with the help of numericals. So let's start with the numericals. Let's start with the first part. So I will be taking this on, copying this out. Okay, so now we are moving to the first sum. The link will be given in the description. That PDF you can download it and then you can start copying it and studying it. So right now I am reading the question. Rocky Limited has disbursed a dividend of rupees 30 on each equity share of rupees 10. The market price of the share is 80 and calculate the cost of equity as dividend yield method. So what they have given is that Rocky Limited has disbursed a dividend of rupees 30. So this Rocky Limited has given to the equity shareholders a dividend of rupees 30. So the data which I am writing is, we know the dividend which is rupees 30 per share of rupees 10. So 10 will be the face value. So 10 rupees is the face value of the share. The face value, on the face value of the share, the dividend is declared based on the profits. So right now we don't require the face value. So at times when we require the face value, I will go in detail. So what is the face value? The face value is the, on the face of the share certificate there is a face value written, and based on that face value there is a certain percentage of equity dividend which is declared. So that we will be studying in later part of the sums. Right now I know that the dividend is rupees 30 on each equity share of rupees 10. So 10 is the face value. The market price of the share is 80. So the market price per share is how much? Rupees 80. Now friends, this market price per share you can denote as D0 and this dividend you can denote as D. So right now we are going to calculate the cost of equity by dividend yield method. By dividend yield method. So cost of equity is denoted as KE. On the numerator you are going to write the dividend. In the denominator you are going to write the market price, and then you can multiply it by 100. So dividend you will write D, market price you will write P0, and this you will multiply by 100. So instead of D I am going to write 30 because the D is 30. Then the market price which we are having is 80, and this we are going to multiply by 100. So 30 divided by 80 into 100. So 30 divided by 80 into 100. So I am going to get my cost of equity as 37.5%. So this is my cost of equity. Now what is the meaning of cost of equity? That whoever is purchasing our equity shares, they are expecting a return of 37.5%. This is the cost of equity. This is nothing but the expected returns of the shareholder. So I hope I have made myself clear. And then now we are moving to the another sum. So I will be copying this part. This software is pretty much new for me, so bear with me. So now we are moving to the second sum. Okay. So right now we are moving to the second sum. The first sum we have already done, which is by dividend yield method. So let's start with the second part. Fortune Limited issued 10,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each at a premium of rupees 2 each. The company has incurred an issue expense of rupees 5,000. The equity shareholders expect the rate of dividend to be 18% per annum. Calculate the cost of equity. Now what they have given is, what they have given us that this Fortune Limited has issued 10,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. So the face value of the share is rupees 10 and at a premium of rupees 2. So the premium amount which they have given us is 2 rupees. In other words, what is the issue price? The issue price is face value plus the premium. So 10 rupees face value and we add to it 2 rupees premium. In other words, the issue price is 12 rupees. Now what has happened, friends, that I'm having a share which is having a face value of rupees 10. Now this particular share I am selling in the market at a premium of 2. In other words, I am selling this share at a price of rupees 12. So what I am collecting from the people is I'm collecting 12 rupees from the people. So my issue price is 12 rupees. This is the amount which I'm collecting per share. Now the company has incurred an issue expense of 5,000. Now there is an issue expense of rupees 5,000. Now this issue expense, what they have given is, they have given this issue expense in total. So I am going to calculate this issue expense per equity share. So whenever you issue an equity share, there are certain expenses like you have to spend money on prospectus, you have to give some registration fees to the SEBI, you have to take the approval of the court, you have to hire the lawyers, there is a charge of printing the prospectus, and all these expenses which are related to issuing the shares are termed as issue expenses. So now what I am going to do is that I am going to calculate the issue expense per equity share. So the next step is issue expense per equity share. So we have 5,000 rupees and in total we have 10,000 as our equity shares. So 5,000 I am going to divide by 10,000 shares. So issue expense I am going to get is 0.5 rupees per equity share. So this is another thing which I have taken out. Now the equity shareholders expect the rate of dividend to be 18%. Now the importance of face value has come. Now we have to calculate the dividend per share. And it is always calculated face value into the rate of dividend, So the face value is 10 and the rate of dividend is 18%. So 10 into 18% is 1.8 rupees per share. So this is the dividend. So what we have done in this sum is that we know the issue price, we know the issue expense, we know the dividend per share. Now they have told you to calculate the cost of equity. So now we are going to calculate the cost of equity. So now we are going to calculate the cost of equity. So right now we are moving to calculate the cost of equity. So what we know is, we know the issue price, we know the dividend, and then we know the issue price, we know the dividend, we know the issue price. Okay, we know the issue price, we know the dividend, and we know the issue expenses. So our issue price was 12, our dividend was 1.8, and our issue expenses were 0.5. This is all per share basis. per share. So now what we are going to do is we are going to find the cost of equity. So we are going to find the cost of equity by again this dividend yield method. Dividend yield method. So what was our formula for cost of equity? It was dividend divided by the market price. Here we will subtract the issue expenses and then we will multiply by 100. So the dividend is 1.8. So dividend is 1.8. I have sold my share at rupees 12. So 12 is the market price. Out of that I have incurred an expense of 0.5. So 0.5 expenses I am going to deduct. Since I have got out of 12 rupees, I have spent 0.5 rupees on issuing the shares. So I have got 11.5 rupees in total in my hand. So 11.5 is the net proceeds which I have received. So that's why you have to deduct the issue expense into 100. So 1.8 divided by 11.5 into 100. So we are going to get the cost of capital 1.8 divided by 11.5 percentage. So I'm going to get 15.65% as cost of capital. So we are going to do further sums. For today it's enough. Thanks.